What's up, y'all, and welcome to Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast presented by Old City Sports Network, the best network for all your Philadelphia sports needs. This is your host, Michael Roscoe. The NFL draft is officially come and gone, and none of my predictions came true, but we'll dive into a draft summary with grading, as well as check out the undrafted free agent market new to Philadelphia, and why are some people upset with Saquon Barkley. Without wasting any more time, let's dive right into the episode. Starting off this week's Eagles news, we have some new jersey numbers coming around. We got some switches as well as numbers for some of our players that we acquired during free agency. We haven't seen any new rookie numbers yet. Not surprised with how long the Eagles take to give out rookie numbers, but that's another conversation. But here's what we have so far. Wide receiver Jahan Dotson switches from number 83 to number 2. Cornerback Keely Ringo switches from number 22 to number 7. Fullback Ben Van Sumeren switches from number 57 to number 43. Now he won't have to report as eligible every single time he plays on offense. Edge rusher Josh Uche will wear number 13. Wide receiver Elijah Cooks will be wearing number 42. Wide receiver Terrace Marshall will be wearing number 46. Tight end Cameron Latu will be wearing number 49. Edge rusher Azeez Ojulari will be wearing number 52. Offensive lineman Kendall Lamb will be wearing number 74. Offensive lineman Kenyon Green will be wearing number 76. Offensive lineman Matt Pryor is wearing his previous Eagles number of number 79. Tight end Kalen Granson will be wearing number 83. And finally, tight end Harrison Bryant will be wearing number 85. Now, of course, this is super fucking early in the season, and jersey numbers are subject to change, especially when some just don't make any sense at all, like giving a wide receiver a number in the 40s. So, we'll continue to keep you posted as new numbers or number changes come our way. In other Eagles news, the Eagles have chosen to exercise defensive tackle Jordan Davis's fifth-year option as of Wednesday. This will basically guarantee him a $12.9 million salary for the 2026 season. Now, hopefully, his snap count production will increase as we get closer to that season, but exercising this option does allow the Eagles to keep Davis at an affordable salary, especially if he has a breakout season and becomes a player needing a much higher price tag come next offseason. I think this is a pretty good financial move from Howie Roseman and the front office. Hopefully it pays out for us as we go into these next couple of seasons. On Monday, the Philadelphia Eagles visited the White House to celebrate their victory in Super Bowl 59, a long-standing NFL post-Super Bowl tradition. However, it was Saquon Barkley that was in the spotlight of this incident, as photos surfaced and it was confirmed that the Eagles running back shared a round of golf and a ride on Marine One with President Donald Trump as part of the weekend activities leading up to the official visit on Monday afternoon. Almost immediately, many people took to social media to criticize Saquon for engaging with a president that they are all pissed off at, while others embraced his respect for the presidency, so to say. Here's the thing. No matter what would have happened, whether he golfed with him or declined to go golf, people are going to be pissed off either way, because you can't please everyone in the toxic nature that is modern American politics. Look, Saquon has as much of a right to do what he chooses with his time as do individuals criticizing or praising him do. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. But I think a lot of these criticism remarks, as well as the praises, are more of reflections of what those particular individuals feel about President Trump And they have these implications of what they believe it meant when Saquon went golfing with the president versus what it actually meant maybe in Saquon's eyes. He responded to critics in a tweet with statements including, quote, maybe I just respect the office, and also went golfing with Obama along with some others. Now listen, I can fully understand why people are upset with Saquon. I really do. I totally understand it. But I don't think Saquon went into this situation with the intent of offending anyone. He was invited by the president and he accepted the invite. That's what happened. I don't think that warrants an automatic or permanent hate to Saquon, especially since he's also golfed with another president that is preferred by the people who are currently criticizing him on social media. But I can also see where Saquon may not have read the room properly, so to say, especially when players such as Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hunt, and more did not attend as well, most likely because they don't stand for what the president represents, and I can understand and respect their decision not to go. Unfortunately for them, there's going to be a lot of people who are pissed off with their decisions as well. And they probably don't care about those opinions, to be honest. They're famous athletes, and they are probably not even looking at any of these, criticisms or remarks on Twitter, like at all. Saquon still does a lot for the community, including helping the homeless and children of incarcerated parents. I get why people are mad, but I don't think a simple golfing trip should outweigh all the good that Saquon has done for Philadelphia and the community. All right, shifting gears, y'all. The NFL draft has concluded and the Eagles have drafted 10 new rookies. Let's look at all the draft picks and give them a grade as well as an overall draft grade, starting with round 1, pick number 31, Jihad Campbell, linebacker out of the University of Alabama. Roll Tide. He's the best in his position of this draft class. I was shocked that we were able to land him. He's coming off a shoulder injury, so I think that's a little bit of concern of why he fell down the draft. But hey, he looked pretty healthy on draft night, running up that hallway, smacking the Eagles logo in excitement. He seems to be doing all right. However, there's been reports that he's got some issues with his knees at the moment, but I haven't seen any of the specifics of what exactly is going on other than just he's got some issues in there right now. I mean, shit, I'm almost 31 years old. I got issues in my knees too. But I mean, clearly the Eagles still saw him as a great investment, and I think the Eagles got a bang for their buck, to be honest. Coming off of a final college season with almost 120 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 pass deflections, and 1 interception, he's got what the Eagles are looking for. Versatility in positions. He could play that edge rusher position or remain at off-the-ball linebacker. He's got speed, agility, high football IQ, and tons of other positive attributes. Depending on Nakobe Dean's recovery timeline, he could look to step in as soon as day 1. I'll give this pick an A+ grade. Moving on to our second pick in round 2, pick number 64, the Eagles had selected Andrew Makuba, safety out of the University of Texas. I'll be honest with y'all. I was pissed when we didn't get Malachi Starks. I will be frank with y'all. I was really upset that the Ravens just snubbed him off of the draft board. But Makuba is a great alternative, especially for where he landed in this draft. He was in the top 5 of his position within this draft class, and his tapes tell why. He's got great instincts, is a hell of a hard hitter, and reads where the QB is going to pass the ball versus where the receiver is, which is good because it's gotten him 5 interceptions in this past final college season. Quarterbacks had a sub 40 rating when targeting Makuba, so he's got the potential to be a lockdown DB in the NFL. Like Jihad Campbell, Makuba's got versatility as he's shown that he can be successful in the slot as well as that high up safety. He's a bit undersized and has a tendency to come in hot without thinking, kind of like my opinion on Sidney Brown. But that's something that Fangio could work on him with immediately and just, nip that, negative attribute, so to say, in the bud. I give this grade a B+. Moving on to the third pick, round 4, pick 111, Ty Robinson, defensive tackle out of Nebraska. Now, I love this pick. Filling out the trenches, and it looks like the Eagles got a solid guy to replace Milton Williams. He had the fastest 40-yard dash time, and he's 6'5", 288 pounds. The dude is a beast. If you haven't checked out his highlights, go ahead and do that now. Get on YouTube, look at that shit. He is a phenomenal athlete. He's big, he's physical, he overpowers offensive linemen like crazy. He'll fit right in with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and company. I give this pick a grade of an A. Moving on to the next pick in round 5, pick 145, we got Mac McWilliams, corner out of the University of Central Florida. Now, this is not a bad pick for later in the draft. I don't know a ton about him, other than his suddenness was a notable quality on film. I think this is a pretty decent depth signing, and I give this pick a grade of a B-. Moving on to the next pick, also in round 5, pick 161, Smael Mondon, linebacker out of the University of Georgia. Another Georgia Bulldog to add on defense, making the current total of 8 UGA alumni, which is crazy. But then again, Georgia is currently one of the top defenses in college ball. So is it really that crazy, y'all? According to CBS Sports, he's got a great tackling radius, rarely missing them, as well as great speed, but he does lack some spatial awareness. I like the depth, though, that we are building at the linebacker position, especially with Ben Van Sumeren switching to fullback and with the Nakobe Dean injury currently still a factor. I give this pick a grade of a B+. On to our next pick, just a few picks later in round 5, we drafted Drew Kendall, center/guard out of Boston College. Now, he's listed as center/guard. However, it has been noted that his position flexibility isn't all that great, and he's a little bit on the older side for a rookie. Predominantly playing center, I could see him being a decent depth piece in case of a Cam Jurgens injury, but he's a little on the older side, like I said, and I think he'll need some extra time to develop as an NFL player. I give this a C+. Moving on to round 6 at pick number 181, the Eagles had selected Kyle McCord, quarterback out of Syracuse. Now, I'm not entirely sure why we went quarterback here when we have Hurts, McKee, and Thompson Robinson, but I think getting the FBS pass leader of the 2024 college season is a great pickup, especially this late in the draft. Plus, he grew up an Eagles fan, so I ain't complaining about that at all. I could see him battling out and potentially beating Thompson Robinson for that QB3 spot. I'll need to see more from him in camp, though. I give this pick a grade of a B+. Continuing in round 6, we have Miles Hinton, offensive lineman out of Michigan. A big dude for Jeff Stoutland, to which he could utilize. Mainly played left tackle, doesn't have a ton of speed, but with conditioning, that could help improve in that area. And he's a great run and pass blocker. I give this pick a B+. Our next pick from round 6 was pick 207. We drafted Cameron Williams, offensive lineman out of the University of Texas. A very similar situation as with Hinton. This is a guy that people think should have been taken higher in the draft. Another great prospect for Jeff Stoutland. A great late round steal. He has a zone blocking grade of 84. That's pretty impressive. He could turn into a great replacement for Fred Johnson immediately. Kind of that swing tackle position, being able to go to right tackle and left tackle. And who knows, he could develop into a Lane Johnson replacement once Johnson calls it a career. I give this pick an A-. And with our final pick in the draft at round 6, number 209 overall, the Eagles had drafted Antoine Powell-Ryland, edge rusher out of Virginia Tech. He's been compared a little bit to Jalix Hunt in the sense of that he's got a smaller frame, but nonetheless, he's an efficient pass rusher that'll add depth, and his production level is definitely noteworthy. He had 16 sacks across the 2024 season while playing in 12 games. He's very quick to recover a fumble, and he earned first-team All-AAC. I think Philly gets another steal this far down in the draft. I give this grade of a B+. And for the overall draft, I can't give it an A. Obviously, we have a lot of B's and B-. So I give this overall Eagles draft grade as a B+. All right, before we wrap things up with this week's episode, we have some UDFA tracking. If those who don't know what that means, that is undrafted free agent. So, in addition to our 10 draft picks, the Eagles picked up some undrafted free agents. Currently, they are as follows. You got BJ Mays, corner out of Texas A&M, Brandon Johnson, safety out of Oregon, Shanderick Powell, running back out of Central Arkansas, Holland Pierce, offensive lineman out of Rutgers, Maxon Hook, safety out of Toledo, Montrell Johnson, running back out of Florida, Lance Dixon, linebacker out of Toledo, and Taylor Morin, wide receiver out of Wake Forest. Now, there's also been a couple guys who've been invited to participate in rookie minicamp, but I feel like that changes a lot recently, so I'll narrow those down to as we get closer to the final roster. All right, y'all, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok by searching at Second and 15 or by the full name Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast. You can also find the audio for each and every single episode releasing Thursday mornings on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Player FM, or wherever you get your podcasts, with the YouTube video dropping later that same day. This episode, Second and 15, and Old City Sports Network are sponsored by Warlord Beard Oil. Head on over to warlordbeardoil.com and use our promo code OLDSPORTS, all caps, one word, to get 15% off your beard oils, washes, and many other products for all of your beard care needs. Orders over $75 will get free shipping. We're also brought to you by SeatGeek. Download the app or head on over to SeatGeek.com to use our promo code Old City Sports Network, all one word, for $20 off of your first purchase. We got some local sponsors with Robert Hangholt Construction. Now, if you're in the greater Philadelphia region and with the weather getting nicer, you maybe want to do some projects with your house. Maybe you need to fix a roof. Maybe you want to build a better deck. For any of those needs, call the number one contractor in the area at 610-348-1066 for a free estimate today. We're also brought to you by Decals by Aaron. Check out decalsbyaaron.com for all your Delco products and merchandise. Your number one spot for everything Delco, that's Decals by Aaron. We're also brought to you by Iron and Steel Threads. Check out ironsteelthreads.com. Use promo code Old City, followed by the number 10, all one word, for 10% off the entire website, and a portion of all sales go to youth hockey organizations. We're also brought to you by Uncle John's Barbecue Stand, located in Claymont, Delaware. Check them out for some local delicious barbecue and sauces only at Uncle John's Barbecue Stand. And finally, we have Custom Concessions. If you're in the market for repairs to your food truck or trailer, or you're just getting into that business and need reliable service, check out none other than Custom Concessions. They use high quality materials and provide high quality service. Use the sponsors tab at oldcitysports.com to check them out today. And while you're on that website, go ahead and click that merchandise tab so you can get some awesome gear from Second and 15. Once again, thanks y'all for joining in. This is Second and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast presented by Old City Sports Network. We'll see y'all next week. Don't forget to stay fly like an eagle, and as always, go Birds!